CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Najah Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories. A convicted felon was in bomb court. The suspect is accused of owning the gun that was used to shoot a child. That 4-year-old girl was critically injured. She was shot in the head by another child inside a Northwest Miami-Dade home. CBS News Miami's Peter Dinch has the very latest.
Miami-Dade police tell us they have charged the mother's boyfriend after he admitted to leaving the children alone in a bedroom unsupervised, where his firearm was stored in a book bag. Now, police say it happened right here at this home at Northwest 21st Avenue and 81st Street on Sunday afternoon. 25-year-old Kovana Ennals is charged as a convicted felon in possession of a firearm. Detectives say he admitted that he illegally purchased a Taurus 9mm firearm like this one 3 months ago for $250, and that he was a convicted felon who did not have the right to own a firearm. Police say there were 4 children in the home, ages 2, 3, 4, and 6. The 4-year-old girl was reportedly shot when one of the children got the gun and it discharged. Miami-Dade police are speaking out about firearm safety.
The responsibility of owning a firearm is a great one. It is a constitutional right, but the responsible ownership of that firearm is even of greater importance. So we urge each and every member in our community, whether you own a firearm or not, to discuss safe firearm management, ownership with your children. Discuss with them what to do. If they observe a firearm in a home, discuss with them what to do. If they observe a firearm on the street, let an adult know. Make sure that firearm is in a safe place. Do not touch it. Do not play with it. Firearms, guns are not toys.
Police tell us that the mother's boyfriend was convicted of robbery with a firearm in 2016 and was released from prison in 2018. Police say that the 4-year-old girl was shot in the head. Right now, she is in critical condition. In Miami, Peter Dinch, CBS News Miami.
A judge set bond for $15,000 along with house arrest and a GPS monitor. Now at 4, officials gave the all clear after a bomb threat at an elementary school earlier today. Chopper 4 was over Park Lakes Elementary and Lauderdale Lakes. The district tells us the school was evacuated. You can see the kids outside as Broward Sheriff's deputies investigated. According to the district, parents were notified that students were safely relocated. Police are still investigating the situation.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
And taking a live look outside, what a beautiful day across South Florida. Next Weather Chief Meteorologist and Hurricane Specialist Ivan Cabrera joining us now. What a perfect way to start the week. Absolutely.
Did you enjoy the extra hour too? We got.
It was nice.
I think everyone's in a better mood today because of that. We need a whole day of that. 84 degrees, a perfect start to the day. We had 60s today. Even Kendall dipping just below 60 degrees at 59 this morning, so a bonus. As far as the temperatures, we're going to start a warming trend though. That's going to be the issue. So don't get used to the cool, crisp mornings because we're going to have 70s for overnight lows from here on out. In fact, not just overnight temperatures warming up, they'll be mild, but the daytime temperatures, which should be around 82, 83, are now going to be closer to 87. I wouldn't be surprised to get a few temperatures close to 90 degrees across the interior. And then we stay dry for the week. A couple of showers make a return for the weekend. Right now, it doesn't look like a big thing, just rain chances going up from about 0 really to 10-20%. So still looking good. 70s right now. And 80s across the board here. We're looking at humidity as well. Very comfortable, but the wind has shifted a little bit now, so we're going to get that easterly component. Anytime you get the wind off the water, the humidity goes up, and so the temperatures can't go that cool, can't go dropping into the 60s and 50s again. Notice a couple little stray showers here. We'll keep that in the forecast as well, about 10%. It is so dry, though, up above in the mid-levels. We got this batch of dry air, and this is what's going to be running our weather this week. Area of high pressure is going to be in charge, and that's going to be moving through over the next few days. So we're going to stay dry the entire week. Rain chances only at 10%, and that would be for a very minuscule chance of a couple of isolated coastal showers. And then a front begins to approach as we hit into the weekend. Should stay far north enough away where it's not going to bother us, but some moisture could get out ahead of it here. And so for the weekend, Rain chances going up to about 20%. And again, that would be for just some showers. I'll run through a rain tracker here. Not going to show you much, save for those very little isolated minor coastal sprinkles, we'll call them there, as we head through Tuesday and into Wednesday. Those tend to develop with this kind of pattern in the very early morning of the day. Now for the rest of the afternoons. Next 7 days in the tropics, we are quiet as can be here. Nothing expected even beyond the next 7 days. So we're looking good there. As far as the temperatures for tomorrow, we'll be back in the 80s. I'll put that little slight chance of a shower in the morning, about 10%, and then we'll keep it that way through the end of the week. But notice a warming trend, right? Mid to eventually upper 80s, which is where we'll stay with that slight bump in shower chances coming up for the weekend.
All right, a beautiful 7 days ahead. Thank you, Ivan. Former President Trump was under oath today in his civil fraud trial. It could decide the future of his business empire. CBS News Miami's Naomi Ruckham is live in New York and has more from the courthouse, where the judge reminded Trump that these proceedings are not a political rally. Naomi.
Well, Naja, the former president just ended his testimony here in New York City after 4 hours on the witness stand. He told reporters after his testimony ended that he thought it went very well. We do know, though, that there were some tensions inside that courtroom. They were flaring and the stakes are quite high. The judge at times asking Mr. Trump's attorneys to get control over their client. Former President Trump calmly stared at the news cameras before Monday's session got underway. But not long after he was sworn in, things got testy. Trump drew several rebukes from State Supreme Court Judge Arthur Engoron for giving speeches, not answers. The judge called a brief recess, asking Trump's attorneys to control their client.
Trump has gone in there.
Columbia University law professor John Coffey says provoking the judge won't help Trump's cause.
And Donald Trump does very well in political campaigning when it explodes, but it doesn't work in court.
The current GOP presidential frontrunner is accused in an alleged scheme to dramatically inflate his wealth in order to get better loans and financing. He testified he feels some of his properties are actually undervalued, and outside the courtroom repeated his claims of political persecution.
It's a very unfair situation. This is really election interference. That's all it is. This trial is ridiculous.
New York Attorney General Letitia James said she expected name-calling at the microphones.
But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters are the facts and the numbers. And numbers, my friends, don't lie.
The potential financial losses are staggering. The case could cost Trump $250 million in penalties and bar his iconic company from operating in New York.
That would really virtually terminate his business empire.
Last week, Trump's two older sons testified, downplaying their connection to financial records. Eldest daughter Ivanka Trump is expected to take the stand on Wednesday. And Naja, the former president is said to be heading back to Palm Beach here in just about an hour's time. This trial was originally expected to go through December. The judge had blocked off 3 months for it, but it could end sooner, as the attorney general says they will be calling their final witnesses this week, ending with Ivanka Trump. Then it will be the defense's turn, and they are now saying they could end a week early. Naja, we'll be on top of it.
Naomi, thank you so much for the very latest. Israel Defense Forces says it is getting close to entering Gaza. IDF continues its air attack and the death toll continues to rise, prompting growing calls for a ceasefire. CBS News Miami's Skylar Henry reports from the White House.
Plumes of smoke continue to rise over Gaza's skyline, a sign that the conflict between Israel and Hamas is far from over.
This is not a local battle. This is a global battle.
As the war approaches 1 month, Israeli officials say they have essentially split the Hamas-controlled territory into a northern and southern half as troops prepare to enter Gaza City.
There is no substitute for victory. We will defeat Hamas We will dismantle Hamas.
So far, the Hamas-run health ministry says more than 10,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza as a result of Israeli strikes, including twin attacks on refugee camps over the weekend. The United Nations says 1.5 million Palestinians have been internally displaced.
The unfolding catastrophe makes the need for a humanitarian ceasefire more urgent with every passing hour.
President Biden spoke to Israel's prime minister in a phone call on Monday, underscoring the need for a pause in strikes to get more humanitarian assistance to civilians in Gaza.
That aid was at the top of the agenda during the trip Secretary of State Antony Blinken just wrapped up in the region.
We're working, as I said, very aggressively on getting more humanitarian assistance into Gaza, and we have very concrete ways of doing that.
Israeli officials have said repeatedly that there will be no ceasefire until the more than 200 hostages Hamas is holding are released. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Here in South Florida, a group of Miami Beach firefighters is heading to Tel Aviv today to provide assistance. 8 firefighters from Fire Station 2 are making the trip. The firefighters volunteered for the 2-week deployment. Once they arrive in Tel Aviv, they will train with Israel's National Fire and Rescue Authority before learning their assignments.
But you know, the idea came about a couple weeks ago, right after October 7th, when I saw all the things that had happened, and I was very frustrated and want to know how to give back. How can we help out? How can we do something small to help out?
The firefighters may be stationed in Tel Aviv or Jerusalem. That's depending on where help is needed the most. More news when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Voters will decide to the race for the White House. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds is expected to endorse Governor Ron DeSantis today, which could be a possible boost for his presidential campaign. Reynolds is expected to back DeSantis at a campaign event in Des Moines. Reynolds is seen as a close ally for DeSantis. They have a similar record on issues like COVID-19. She also appeared at DeSantis' campaign events over the summer, and with his wife, Casey DeSantis, described the endorsement from Reynolds as a huge get. Former President Donald Trump is leading President Joe Biden nationally, and that's in the latest CBS News poll. The numbers have Trump ahead by 3 points in the poll. That is slightly higher than September's poll that had the former president at just a 1% lead. The new polling suggests that Trump currently would have an easy electoral college win at the numbers. The polls have 74% of Biden voters feeling nervous, 72% frustrated about a political rematch. Now to Fins on CBS Miami. The Miami Dolphins head into their bye week at 6-3 on the season, and that is after falling to the Kansas City Chiefs in Germany. Fins got off to a rocky start in Frankfurt, trailing 21-0 at the half. Miami would rebound in the third, scoring a pair of touchdowns, but with the game on the line, Tua could not handle the snap on 4th and 10. With just over a minute to play, the Dolphins lose 21-14. Miami will host the Las Vegas Raiders on the bye week, November 19th. That's the CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Naja Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami.